This has been a very exciting week for me. I finished my entrelac skirt and I sewed it together and I, cleaned up all the ends. I had to weave in a lot of ends and then I washed it and then you have to block it. So this is my first wash and block project because this is really only the fifth. This is the first major thing I've ever knitted besides hats and blankets, really. So I put it in the washing machine on gentle because that's what Gwen recommended when I asked her about it. She's the one who designed the pattern. And when I took it out of the washing machine, it was like this long. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God. So I laid it on a towel and I reshaped it. And that was a lot more involved than I thought it was going to be. And you can see, it was probably about, I would say 10 inches, 8 or 10 inches longer than that when I laid it out flat. So I did that and I had to let it dry on that towel for almost 3 days, like 2.5 days it took to dry. So then I could pick it up. You can see there might be a slight amount of static cling because I have leggings on underneath because it's cold in here today. But there's the back and the side and the front and the other side. So I'm very pleased with this fit and flare kind of silhouette. I'm very happy with the way it came out. Just one more look at it and then I'm going to show you my next topic. This is a year of my life. I've spent a whole year doing this because I can only do it like my little hobby time versus, my work time, which is my sewing time. So that's why it took so long. But this is the close-up of it. And you can see it did wash really nicely. And I was really concerned when it stretched out so long that it wasn't going to stay short after it dried. But it does. So if you knit something and you wash it, now this is superwash wool though. Let's just start out with that. The yarn is superwash merino wool. So that's the yarn that this is. But if you take the time to scrunch it back up, I literally went like this and scrunched it and I checked to make sure the underside was scrunched up like this, pushed it back up. And then I let it dry like that. And then happily, when I hold it up now, it doesn't get long again. So very happy with this. I have to admit, I'm feeling a little bit like I don't have a knitting project going, so I don't know. I'm going to see what I want to do about another knitting project, but that's another topic for another time. All right, so I want to just show you something about these jean skirts. Abby was going to go to Puerto Rico this week for vacation for Christmas break because one of her volleyball friends on the team lives in Puerto Rico. And the trip actually got canceled because of the earthquake, so I'm just sending prayers and good wishes to Puerto Rico. Hopefully, everything will be okay. But, the trip was canceled, and actually her friend may try to come back here sooner because there's no power on the island. I don't know if there is now, but there wasn't when she was going to leave on Wednesday. So these are the skirts that I made, and I posted a link to the video on YouTube, so if anybody's interested in making a simple jean skirt like this, you can literally do it in an hour. It's very easy. I have the videos in part 1 and part 2. Part 1 shows you how to cut it apart, get it the length you need, and prep it for sewing, and then part 2 is how to sew it back together. One thing I want to point out, though, that I didn't notice until after I was finished filming, so I just want to show you a little something that happened. Okay, so on this skirt, the front crotch curve had some curve to it. And the thing about that is that curve allows it to overlap and cover where we cut. Some stretch jeans have almost no curve. So what happened when I made the second pair, you can see here, it didn't cover because literally it looks like it's curved, but if you see the difference here, in crotch curves, this one started curving much higher up. This one was virtually straight and then it curves a little bit here. Okay, so see, all I have to do is take out this little short seam right here and then pull it over a little bit farther because see right here is where it doesn't match up. And I can probably use some double-sided fusible tape to hold it right there. You know, and then it will be fine. And because it stretches, you know, I should be able to stretch that over. But that's just a little, you know, follow-up on something that could happen with the jean skirt. Another thing I'm doing, this is sort of a week in review, really. This is a jean skirt that I made a long time ago. I was really into cutting apart jeans and using them to sample my new designs. These designs are the designs that I made for the Oscar Goes To, one of my Bernina Warble Art Fashion Show entries where I actually won Viewer's Choice. What I've decided to do is remaster these because I've lost the original files. These embroidery files are probably, I would say, close to 12, 13 years old. I can't remember the year that I won for this one. It's probably 2004. And the cool thing is I took actual photos of this skirt. So like, you know, each design, like I took a picture of this, you know, and I took a picture of, you know, this big one up here, for example. And then I open it up in the software and I can see what I did. So I can see the stitching and the detail that I have in here. So that's what I've been doing. So this design right here is now this design redone, and I actually made some changes to it. After this first test stitch out, I made the detail inside a little bit thicker so you could see it, and I decreased the density of the petals. And I did a few other things too, but I made it a little bit bigger as well. This was supposed to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to remaster these, and that's going to be the first collection that I'll have that will be available for you. So that's an exciting thing I'm doing. Here's an interesting thing, though, that I think will help you when you're pants fitting. Like, is it worth making into a pants? Okay, so you made your muslin, you try it on, it looks nice. My benchmark for then taking this and making it into a pair of pants is if I can stand and crouch all the way to the ground in them. So not bending over, because I can bend over and my muslins almost from the get-go and they don't slide very much, or sit and they don't really slide very much. But if you can actually, you know, bend your knees and crouch down so you can touch the floor, and if it's still comfortable and you still have room, that's when I would say, okay, I can make this into a pants pattern. You know, because it looks nice, but sometimes in the process of fitting pants, you know, there might be a little bit more tweaking you need to do to get enough room so you don't ever split the seam. So that's the ultimate way to test if the seam is going to split. Serge all the edges. And I also think I'm going to add some back pockets. It depends on how much of this fabric I have left. I have to look at my scraps. I probably will put some back pockets on it just so I have a pocket to throw my phone in there if I need to. But that's what I'm going to do with this muslin. And then the other thing is, if your measurements are the same or similar or even close waist to full hip, you can sew it all the way up to the top. So see, I don't have to worry about making a zipper now because I can just add the stretch waistband. So that's how I'm going to finish these. And I'm sorry I didn't. I'm sorry that I didn't have more of that ready to go to show you. But I've had a lot of mini projects going on this week.